everyone, my name is Khyati Shah and I am a CPA in Canada and a chartered accountant from India. I migrated to Canada in 2018 as a permanent resident and I appeared for my CFE in September 2020 and received my designation in December. I'm also a CPA mentor and so far I have received a lot of inquiries on guidance on how to pursue CPA in Canada for Indian chartered accountants. So let's get started with the same.
So, CPA Canada entered into a Memorandum of Understanding with the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India on November 19, 2018. This is a great news for Indian chartered accountants as now they are only required to give the Common Final Examination, which is a 3-day exam and consists of 6 subjects. Previously, there was a requirement to appear for the Capstone 1 as well as the Capstone 2 modules, which are case-based modules. However, the same are made optional via the new agreement. CPA Canada still recommends and encourages that each and every student appear for the case-based modules as it helps them in clearing the Common Final Examination as well as in obtaining the designation. CPA Canada is the main body which governs the CPA course in Canada. However, you will have to obtain your registration, appear for the examination, as well as obtain the designation via the provincial bodies. There is CPA Ontario, CPA Alberta, CPA British Columbia, CPA Quebec, the province in which you decide to reside once you land in Canada. Now let's move on to the pathway to becoming a CPA in Canada. The first and foremost step is obtain a good standing letter from Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. That is our ICI. Now in order to obtain this letter, you have to make an online application to the institute, but please make sure that you complete all your continuing professional education hours, that is the CPE hours, before you make this application. This is because the institute has the right to withhold your letter in case you have not completed the structured learning hours portion of the CPE hours. The second step is to submit all the documentation via the Apply Online tab on the provincial body website. I have used the CPA Ontario for the purpose of this video. However, the documentation is pretty much similar across all the provincial bodies. The next step is to wait for the registration process to be completed, which takes approximately between 8 to 12 weeks, and it depends on the provincial bodies, which may be extended considering the current pandemic situation, as well as whether all the documentation is completed. The next step is to register for the Capstone 1 or Capstone 2 or the CFE, depending on your choice. Now, CFE is conducted in May and September, and Capstone 1 and 2 are conducted anywhere in January or June or March and August respectively, in case where actual dates may vary. Now, the documentation required by the provincial bodies or CPA Ontario in this example are as under. The first is a proof of legal name, which in most of the cases will be your passport. However, it may be your permanent resident card, your landed immigrant papers, or your Canadian driver's license, depending on how long you have been in Canada, or whether you have just landed, or whether you decide to start your registration process while you are in India. So I would just like to add here that you can start your registration process from India itself, but for the purpose of giving your final examination, you'll have to be in Canada. So you just have to manage the time considering when you plan to give a CFE and then start the registration process accordingly. Because as I said, it takes approximately 8 to 12 weeks. The second document is your chronological resume, which includes all your work experience. Now, the work experience in this case includes your articleship experience, that is your pre-designation experience, and as well as your post-designation experience. So any internship or any articleship which you carried out before your final examination is also included in this chronological resume. The third document is your letter of good standing, of course, which discussed above. And in addition to these documents, certain provincial bodies also ask you for your WES International Credential Advantage Package, which is an ICAP report and is provided by the World Education Services. It's the same body which you submitted your documentation for your educational credential evaluation for your visa purposes. So you'll have to make an additional application via the WES for your ICAP, but only if it is required by the provincial bodies. Like in certain cases, they may or may not request it, but if they do, then you'll have to make an additional application there. Now let's quickly look through the admission timelines and the fees. Now, as I took the screenshot from CPA Ontario, it says that the minimum processing time is approximately 12 weeks, which we discussed before. And the admission fees is initial administration fee and annual student dues, which equals to $725 if you are planning to register anywhere between January 1st and June 30th. Or if you are planning to register after June 30th, then it will be like $425 plus the applicable taxes for each and every province. The taxes are different for all the provinces in Canada. So this one is from CPA Ontario. So you can see that the total payment is approximately $819 and $480. Now the last slide is Capstone 1 and Capstone 2 fees, which is $1,300 each, which are optional now. And the CFE fees for all the 3 days is $1,500, but you can also decide to appear for just day 1 or just day 2 and 3, which is $650 and $1,150. But in order to obtain your designation and to clear the common final examination, you will have to clear like all the 3 days of the CFE. And these fees are exclusive of HST, so you have to add 13% in order to calculate the total fees for CPA Ontario. And these fees are as on like July this year, so it may increase at a later date. I will link all the descriptions, all the website references in the description box below, so you may just refer them. And please include your comments or question in the comment box below, so I will include them in my next video if you have any questions. So thank you till then, take care and stay safe.